Hi, I'm Russell Whitehead, author and illustrator of the story you're about to hear, The Light Man. I was so happy to be invited to share this story with you as part of the Get Georgia Reading Georgia Storytellers series. The Light Man is one of my favorite stories to talk about because it's based on a special Christmas memory of mine. Turns out, it's a memory also shared by a lot of people besides me. When I decided to write a story about Christmas, I couldn't help thinking about a man who lived in a community near where my parents lived. That's his house in the background. Pretty impressive, huh? His name was Mr. J. Core. Some people knew him as Mr. Bowtie, but I always called him the Light Man because he wore a suit with lights. For many years, people would come from miles around to see his amazing display of Christmas lights. These photos were shared with me by members of Mr. Core's family. Thanks to the family for the photos, and thank you, Mr. Core, for being such an awesome inspiration to so many people. And now, without further ado, I present to you a reading of the book I wrote, The Light Man. I hope you like it. Mr. and Mrs. Brown lived on a street in a quiet little town. In the evening time at Christmas, they liked to drive around. "Why can't we have pretty lights?" asked Mrs. Brown, to which Mr. Brown replied, "I'm sorry, dear, I greatly fear, for that I can't abide." "A tree beside the window is not enough for you?" "It's fine," she said, and lowered her head. "I suppose that it will do." Then Mr. Brown went shopping and bought a Christmas light. He hung it by the doorway. It filled him with delight. Mrs. Brown came looking to see what it was for, but when she saw what he had done, she said, "It needs a little bit more." So Mr. Brown went shopping again, though shopping he abhorred. He bought up all the Christmas lights his wallet could afford. He put them on the windows. He put them on the doors. He worked and worked and worked. Sweat was oozing from his pores. He climbed nimbly up the ladder. He was really quite aloof. He carried more lights with him and put them on the roof. He put them on the shrubs. He put them in the trees. He wore his winter glovies so his fingers wouldn't freeze. He put them in the driveway, all the way up to the street. He even put them on the mailbox, 'cause he thought that it looked neat. And when he turned and looked upon the labor that he bore, he then said softly to himself, "It needs a little bit more." He bought a nice white suit with white shoes and a hat. He fastened on some lights that blinked, and on a stool he sat. He waved at all the people who came from miles around. They came to see the Light Man on the other side of town. "Merry Christmas, Mr. Light Man," the children they did shout. "Peace and joy and love and hope are what Christmas is about."